There is someone in your life who eats just as much as you do, maybe more. They do not count calories, they do not spend hours at the gym, and their belly is flat. You have probably told yourself they just have better genetics, but that is not what the science says. The real difference happens before 9 a.m. Before either of you eats a single bite of food. Here's what nobody tells you about belly fat. Your body makes a decision within the first 60 minutes of waking up. It decides whether today is a day to burn stored fat or to protect it. And most people accidentally vote for protection before they even brush their teeth. Not because of what they eat, not because they skip the gym, because of 7 completely normal morning habits that silently tell your metabolism to hold on to every pound. Here's the part that stopped me cold when I first learned this. Not one of those 7 habits involves food. Not one involves exercise. All of them happen before breakfast, before calories even enter the picture. I'm going to show you exactly what those habits are, why they work against you biologically, and the simple routine that flips every single one of them in your favor. And I want you to stay until habit number 4, because that one is actually recommended by wellness influencers every single day. And it is quietly making your belly fat worse. But first, answer this in your head right now. Do you wake up tired even after a full night of sleep? Do you need coffee just to function like a normal human being? Do you carry belly fat that refuses to move no matter what you try? Do you feel hungry again 2 hours after eating a complete meal? If you said yes to even 2 of those, you're making the same mistakes I'm about to show you, and none of them are your fault. You were never told any of this. Drop a comment right now before we start. What is the very first thing you do every single morning? I want to know where most people watching this are actually starting from. Here is the biological reality most people never hear. Your body runs on 2 completely opposite modes, fat-burning mode and survival mode, and they cannot exist at the same time. In fat-burning mode, cortisol is low, insulin is low, and your body pulls energy from stored fat. In survival mode, cortisol is high, insulin is high, and your body holds on to every pound it has. Every morning, your body is deciding which mode to run on for the rest of the day, and that decision happens in the first 60 minutes after you open your eyes. Here's what makes this specific to belly fat. Visceral fat, the fat wrapped around your organs, has 3 times more cortisol receptors than fat anywhere else on your body. 3 times. That means when cortisol stays elevated in the morning, belly fat is the primary target for storage. Not your arms, not your legs, your belly specifically. This is not a theory. This is measurable hormone biology. So when you understand what spikes cortisol unnecessarily in those first 60 minutes, everything changes. 7 habits are doing it to you right now without you realizing it. Let us go through them one by one. Habit number 1, checking your phone the second you wake up. Be honest with yourself right now. Your phone is your alarm clock. So the very first thing your hand does every morning is reach for it, and within 30 seconds, you are scrolling. Email, news, Instagram, someone posting something that makes your blood pressure rise before your feet hit the floor. Here is what your brain cannot do in that moment. It cannot tell the difference between a notification and an actual threat. All it sees is stimulation, urgency, and stress. So it responds the only way it knows how. It floods your system with cortisol on top of the cortisol that was already naturally rising. That double spike is what triggers the belly fat storage signal before your day even starts. A study published in PNAS Nexus in February 2025 had participants block mobile internet for just 14 days. That single change improved sustained attention scores by an amount equivalent to reversing a decade of age-related cognitive decline. If removing the phone does that much good in 2 weeks, imagine what checking it every single morning has been doing to your cortisol over years. The fix is simple. No phone for the first 30 minutes after waking up. Your inbox will survive. Your belly will thank you. Habit number 2, coffee before water. Picture this exact morning. Eyes barely open. Feet hit the floor. First stop is the coffee machine. You pour a cup before doing anything else. It feels necessary. It feels like the only way to become a functioning human being. But here is what is actually happening inside your body at that moment. You just spent 7 to 9 hours breathing out moisture without replacing a single drop. Your blood is literally thicker in the morning than at any other point in the day. Your cortisol is already elevated from waking up, and the first thing you pour into that system is a stimulant. Caffeine on top of dehydration, on top of elevated cortisol is like throwing gasoline on a fire and then wondering why you feel jittery and hungry by 10:00 a.m. Here is something most people never connect. A lot of what feels like hunger at mid-morning is actually thirst wearing a disguise. Mild dehydration creates signals your brain misreads as food cravings. So you eat when your body was asking for water the entire time. The fix takes 60 seconds. One large glass of water with a small pinch of mineral salt before anything else. Then, delay your coffee by 90 minutes. When caffeine arrives on a hydrated, calmer system, it works better and lasts longer. Habit number 3, never getting morning sunlight. Most people spend the first hour of their day entirely indoors. They wake up in a dark room. They walk through a house lit by artificial light. They sit at a computer under fluorescent lighting, and their body never receives the signal that the day has actually started. That matters more than most people realize. Your body runs on an internal clock called your circadian rhythm. That clock controls when cortisol rises, when melatonin falls, and critically, how sensitive your cells are to insulin throughout the entire day. Insulin is the only fat storage hormone in your body, and your circadian clock is one of its primary regulators. When that clock never gets properly set in the morning, insulin sensitivity suffers all day long. The same meal that your body could handle efficiently becomes a bigger fat storage trigger. Research confirms this directly. People who get natural sunlight during the day have measurably lower fasting insulin and better insulin sensitivity, even after accounting for body fat levels. And it works in the other direction too. Bright artificial light in the evening increases insulin resistance and spikes blood sugar higher after meals. Light is not just about mood. Light is a fat loss tool that almost nobody is using. The fix is completely free. 10 to 30 minutes outside within the first hour of waking up. No sunglasses. Even an overcast sky delivers enough light to set your clock properly. Habit number 4, eating a high carbohydrate breakfast. This is the one wellness influencers are getting wrong every single day. The oatmeal, the whole grain toast, the granola with fruit, the yogurt with honey drizzled on top, the orange juice alongside the healthy muffin. All of it marketed as the responsible, healthy choice. All of it doing the same thing to your blood sugar. Here is what actually happens when you eat that breakfast. Your blood sugar was calm and stable after a full night of fasting. Then you pour a large pile of carbohydrates into that calm system. Blood sugar shoots up rapidly. Your pancreas releases insulin to deal with the flood. And when insulin is high, you are in fat storage mode, not fat burning mode. Then, 90 minutes later, the blood sugar crashes hard. Your brain panics and sends one urgent signal. Go find more carbs right now. So you reach for a snack and the roller coaster starts again. You are in fat storage mode from morning until you go to sleep. Researchers at the University of Missouri scanned the brains of people after a high-protein breakfast versus a carbohydrate breakfast. The protein group showed measurably reduced brain activity linked to food cravings for hours afterward. Not through willpower, through actual changes in brain activity. Same calories, different first meal, completely different outcome. Protein first changes the entire day. Aim for 30 growers in your first meal and watch what happens to your afternoon cravings. Habit number 5, eating the second you wake up. Most people are in the kitchen within 5 minutes of opening their eyes. It feels like the responsible thing to do. Fuel up early, get the day started, do not let yourself get too hungry. But here is what you are interrupting every single time you do that. While you slept last night, something good was quietly happening. Your insulin came down to its lowest point of the day. Your body finally started pulling energy from stored fat. That overnight fat-burning window is real and it is valuable, but the moment you eat, especially carbohydrates, insulin spikes, and that window slams shut. You cut off fat burning before you leave the house. Then you do the exact same thing tomorrow morning and the morning after that. Most people have never once given their body an extra hour to stay in fat-burning mode, not once. This is not about extreme fasting or starving yourself. It's simply about not sprinting to the refrigerator the second your eyes open. Hydrate first, get your sunlight, take a short walk. By the time you sit down to eat, your body has had an extra window to burn stored fat, and your first meal will be more satisfying and longer lasting. The hunger you feel immediately after waking up is almost always thirst in disguise. Test it with a large glass of water first and watch it disappear. Habit number 6, sitting down right after you eat. You eat breakfast, then you do what everybody does. You sit at your desk, you get in your car, you settle onto the couch with your laptop. And while you are sitting completely still, the glucose from that meal has nowhere to go. It floats around in your bloodstream waiting to be cleared. So insulin keeps climbing to force it somewhere, and somewhere means fat storage. Here is the study that changed how I think about morning movement. Researchers in diabetes care took adults at risk for metabolic issues and had them take 3 15-minute walks, one after each meal throughout the day. Just 15 minutes. Those 3 short walks controlled blood sugar over 24 hours as effectively as one continuous 45-minute walk. The timing was the entire magic, not the total duration. Here's why it works at the cellular level. When your muscles contract during even a gentle walk, they pull glucose directly out of your blood without needing insulin to do it. It is like opening a side door to clear the sugar before it ever becomes a fat storage problem. You are bypassing the fat storage hormone entirely. 10 to 15 minutes after your first meal. That is the only investment required. Stack it with your morning sunlight and you have 2 powerful wins from one single walk outside. Same time, same effort, double the benefit. Habit number 7, starting the day in full survival mode. This is the master villain behind everything else on this list. Picture a typical morning for most people. Phone the second they wake up, coffee before water, rush through getting dressed, news playing in the background telling them the world is falling apart, notifications buzzing every few minutes, traffic on the way to work, a calendar full of meetings before 9 a.m. One stressor stacked on top of another, stacked on top of another. Your body does not know you are just late for a meeting. It cannot tell the difference between a deadline and a predator chasing you. All it reads is one unified signal: danger. So it floods your system with cortisol and keeps it elevated for hours. And chronically elevated cortisol does something very specific and very measurable. It tells your metabolism to store fat in one location above all others, around your organs. Your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, deep inside your belly, where you cannot see it forming until one day you cannot ignore it anymore. Survival mode and fat-burning mode cannot coexist. Your body will never release fat when it believes it is under threat. That is not a flaw. That is survival doing exactly what it was built to do. Now here is the realization that changes everything. Not one of these 7 habits involved food. Not one involved exercise. All of them were signals. Change the signals and your body changes its answer. Here is the exact routine that flips every single one of those 7 signals starting tomorrow morning. 7 steps, one for each habit we just covered. You can do this entire routine within the first hour of your day. Step 1, no phone for the first 30 minutes. Let your cortisol rise naturally without artificial urgency piled on top. Your nervous system wakes up calm instead of already in defense mode. Step 2, water with minerals before anything else. 1 large glass with a small pinch of quality salt. Rehydrate before you stimulate. This alone eliminates a surprising amount of mid-morning hunger. Step 3, sunlight within the first 30 minutes outside. No sunglasses, even on overcast days. 10 to 30 minutes sets your circadian clock and improves insulin sensitivity for the entire day ahead. Step 4, a 10 to 15-minute walk while you are outside getting that sunlight. 2 powerful wins stacked into one single habit, 0 extra time required. Step 5, delay your coffee by 90 minutes. Let cortisol do its natural job first. When caffeine arrives on a calmer, hydrated system, it works better and lasts longer without the crash. Step 6, build your first meal around protein, at least 30 g. Eggs, Greek yogurt, whatever fits your life. Protein first shuts down the blood sugar roller coaster and kills cravings for hours without you fighting your own brain. Step 7, walk for 10 minutes after that first meal. Pull glucose out of your bloodstream through the side door before insulin has to force it into storage. That is the entire routine. Now here's what I need you to understand before you close this video. You are not lazy. You are not broken. Your metabolism has not turned against you. Your body has been doing exactly what it was designed to do, responding to the signals you handed it every single morning without knowing it. The phone told it danger. The coffee told it stress. The missing sunlight told it the day never started. The carb breakfast told it to spike and crash. The immediate eating closed the fat-burning window early. The sitting after meals kept insulin elevated. And the survival mode morning told it to hold on to every pound it had. Not one of those was about food. Not one was about willpower. Not one was your fault. Change the signals and your body changes its answer. Fat loss stops feeling like a battle you keep losing. It starts feeling like something your body is finally willing to do. Try just one of these steps tomorrow morning. Just one. Then come back and tell me in the comments what you noticed after 7 days. Which habit surprised you the most today? Drop it below right now. I read every single comment. If this story changed the way you look at your morning routine and your metabolism, please subscribe and like the video. We are uncovering the biological truths that have been hidden in plain sight. Start planting the seeds for a healthier future today. The next breakthrough in your wellness journey will be revealed very soon.